I almost didn't survive our last podcast.
What happened? You left. I heard you guys went and ate turkey.
What do you mean? What? First of all, you introduced me to this cookie. I think you were sponsored or you were doing something with this company at the time. Some Chiba Chew, I think, was it?
Chiba Chew. Okay.
And there was some cookie, and you're like, Gabriel, look at this is cookie right here. It's delicious. You should try some. And I took the cookie, and I don't just pinch the cookie and eat a piece of the cookie. If you had me a cookie, the whole cookie's going down. And I guess for whatever reason, it had a certain level of whatever in it. I ate the whole cookie, right? I was fine when I left. And when I got on the 5, man, I've never been more grateful for traffic in my life because I drove about 8 miles an hour the whole way home. It hit me on the 5.
I thought you guys stopped and got something to eat.
Man, no.
Oh.
No, that cookie. Ooh. That's like, you go, Joe Diaz podcast. I ain't eating no more cookies.
No, I don't.
No, and I got people to drive now.
And that's why I said no more cookies because I know you were scared for a long time.
I was so
you were
scared.
Like, why
I was
go
on
over there? I'm not gonna go over there to get tortured. I'm not gonna go over there. I don't blame you, man.
But that cookie though, wow.
Sounds like the SoCon cookies we were eating. Did it have frosting on top of it?
I don't remember. I just remember I ate a whole cookie. Because you guys were looking at me like that look when like you wasn't supposed to eat the whole cookie because you knew what the future held for me.
I thought I did. Remember we did something and I ate we did Chicago and we flew back and I took my shirt off on the flight.
Is it wrong that I remember you taking off your shirt a few times?
This was like this was.
You were sweating. You were sweating up a storm.
Yes.
We were on a Southwest flight.
Yes,
sweating
and we
like
were
crazy.
sitting opposite each other.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and I
wow.
sat in between two old white women that were like 65.
You were sweating
and I
up
had
a storm.
big tits. I had to be 380, and what happened was it was those gummy bear. It was those the tongue things.
The Listerine ones.
The Listerine
yeah.
ones. But nobody in those days knew the dosage of them. There was no dosage. You just showed them black market. They could dip them in gasoline. And then what happened was when you put them in your wallet, they got stuck together. You didn't really know how many you were eating. So we did KJ Riddles. Me, you, Martin, who was ever booking the fucking Festival of Death with Rick. It had to be like 7 of us.
Riddles.
We
Yes.
went to Riddles
Oh,
across the street from Steak and Shake and White Castle. We had it's just a fast.
all the best choices at 2 a.m.
All the best choices. It was Steak and Shake next door, White Castle across the street, and the hotel had a direct line. There was an old Hindu who had porn on. I think I'm fucking kidding you. When you went to check in, it was like some chick getting fucked against the wall. And then you went to the hotel room and they would fuck with you. If you wanted porn, it was like an extra $4. But if not, it was like porn slanted, so you could still hear the chick going,
like Old Spice.
Right, so what you do is you have to move it a little bit.
You had to put the TV on its side.
So on the way back from KJ Riddles, we all took the early flight. And I go, look, what do I got here? Some bread. And I put them on them. But in those days, in the middle, we sat opposite each other.
Yeah, Southwest Airlines had those the little lounge seats where they'd have the seats that face one another in the front and in the back. They'd have those two sections.
So we took it over. And all of a sudden, I started sweating profusely. The plane started bouncing or some shit.
He was drenched. It was scary. They brought him some towels.
How early into the flight did you take your shirt off?
About an hour and a half in. And there were 2 women who were sitting next to me. And I still remember the look on their faces.
Tortured the
These women never fuck doggy style.
You could just
These
tell.
2 women have never fucked doggy style. Like if they were with 3 guys total between the 2 of them, you could tell that one was reading a Bible. Like they never did it doggy style. She never sniffed his nutsack. They just did it through a sheet with a hole.
Oh my God.
And I sat in the middle and took my shirt off. And I'll never forget at one time, just like drying off with a towel. Like this was the beginning of edibles. And I'm drying off with a towel. And I could feel the moisture on my nipple. And I'm like, how fucking
He was
embarrassed.
shiny. He was shiny.
And you don't really drink or do that much, Gabriel. So like, you were completely sober.
You got to figure at that time. No, I wasn't. There was nothing. I didn't start drinking until like I was 24, 25.
So what is it like being on the road with someone like that?
Well, at the time, I didn't know what he was going through. I had no idea. He sweats. I'm a big guy. I sweat. I'm just like he's just been doing it longer, and this is, maybe his air vent doesn't work. I don't know.
I mean, we were up all. I know for a fact I was up all night. Like I remember getting to the airport that day, and like,
and at the time I must have been about 23, 24.
my ears were still ringing from the cocaine.
Wow.
Like my ears were still ringing, and I'm like, man. And I was trying to keep it together in front of you guys. Like if anybody else would have looked at me that didn't know me, they would have gone, he's just tired. But my eyeballs were on fire. I knew that people knew I was on the tail end of the juice.
Yeah, if it would have happened today, they'd be like, no, that's coronavirus coming out of you.
Yeah.
They would have been like, there's something going on here.
I was fucked up. So at the airport, to balance things off, I found these and I ate them, and I got fucked up on the plane between the exes. I found shirts of mine from my cocaine days when I moved from Hollywood to the Valley. I found a bunch of long sleeve white shirts because I was so big I had to wear long sleeve, so I would get like a 3XL
T
extra long. I would only buy clothes in Texas because in LA they don't have clothes for fat people. You got to go all the way up to Tonga Canyon, and what are our chances of going to Tonga? You know what I'm saying? Or the Fat Man store on Wilshire, where they charge $84 for a handkerchief.
And you know what? That was during the time when I want to say you were trying to put me in touch with that Big Daddy company because you were getting all your clothes for free from Big Daddy.
Ralphie.
Yeah.
Ralphie.
It was a Big Daddy run.
Daddy run. And I was on a big cocaine run. So Big Daddy. I just stopped buying clothes. I just stopped wearing clothes.
You were always wearing jumpsuits.
Always.
You always had those big.
Always.
They look so cool too.
Because in those days it was so soprano. I went to so many mafia auditions for commercials and videos and promos that all I wore was sweatsuits. I had a black suit that I bought that Josh Wolf bought me.
Oh, wow.
3 suits for $200 with 2 pairs of shoes right on Hollywood Boulevard. They're still there up the block from Joe's. Hollywood Suit Outlet. You get 3 suits, 3 shirts, 3 ties,
belts,
socks, and a pair of shoes for $299. Wow. Just make sure nobody lights a match 10 feet from you.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.